Hey, Nico, good to see you. You have to pardon me, I'm just linking everybody. I tried to do it right before. I tried to do it like 3 minutes ago, but I had to reload my browser and update it. So a lot of extra stuff. I know I'm not making any excuses. I should just from now on have what I'm going to link people to in my WordPad. So all I got to do is just copy and paste it in a split second, so I don't have to worry about doing it by hand every single time. And there we go. All right. But we ought to be fine. Good to see you, Ogata-san. Good to see everyone. Sorry, I was just linking everybody, linking everything. So we ought to be good. All right, let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? My sincerest apologies. Yes, there we go. I love this Jujutsu shirt so much. I love it. Like having something I can wear for you guys that coincides with the series that I'm reading. But, yo peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Jujutsu Kaisen read-through. Today we're going to be going through volume 14 of the series, and oh boy, I'm excited to see what happens with the story. Because here's the thing, we saw numerous things happen in the last chapter. We saw Sukuna rise up in control of Yuji's body. And the two girls, Mimiko and Nanako, they both tried to plead with Sukuna to go and kill whoever has taken over Geito's body. And in the process, they just get completely destroyed, completely eviscerated. Mimiko, her whole body just explodes into square chunks. And then when Nanako tries to, avenge her, her whole head just gets sliced off, and then every other part of her gets sliced off as well in an instant. And Sukuna's all like, yeah, no one's here is going to be able to tell me what to do right now. And then Jogo kind of makes it known that they want to bring him back. So Sukuna put Jogo up to a challenge. If you can hit me just one time, then I'll do what you guys say for now. And their resounding battle has just been going throughout all of Shibuya, including a moment where Jogo is preparing to bring down a volcanic meteor down on everyone, and everyone's preparing to run, and then Sukuna shows up and dares anyone to move. No one moves until I say so. No one moves until I say so. And everyone was all like, if we do anything, he's gonna kill us. If you move, I'll kill you. And he was so smug about it. And the thing is, everyone knows who Sukuna is, and no one moved. And he said, wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. Now. And then everyone just runs immediately as Jogo brings down a meteor on where Sukuna's supposed to be. And as the dust settles, Jogo's all like, maybe I get him. And then Sukuna's just right. Sukuna's just like right next to him saying like, yeah, if it hit me, that might have actually did something. But it didn't. And then Jogo's all like, you gotta be kidding me. And then Sukuna, out of nowhere, says, you know what? Let's go ahead and make this interesting. He says some unintelligible word, and then he says open, and then to everyone's shock, well, mainly just Jogo and mine, Sukuna, who I thought could only do like slashes and slices, gains the power of fire and decides like, let's make this a battle of fire, and then replicates what Jogo is doing. So now, he's all like, let's make this about even. So I'm going to use the same power you're using. Let's make this a fire battle. And Jogo's all like, I thought it's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy that Sukuna is replicating the same thing Jogo's doing. I know this was a bit of a long recap, but it's just like, Sukuna's a bad somebody. Like, he's just toying with everyone. How many chapters do we got today? Volume 14, the Shibuya Incident, Right and Wrong. So that's what this volume is called. We have chapters 116 through 124. The Shibuya Incident continues. It's just continuing. Are we really going to be entering into Shibuya Incident Part 42? Let's go ahead and get started. Chapter 116, the Shibuya Incident Part 34. And then it shows... Ooh, the first thing we get in this panel, the very first thing we get in this panel is like a lopsided double page view of Sukuna replicating the exact same hand gesture that Jogo is doing as they're standing on top of this still flaming meteor. And then it shows Sukuna molding fire in his hands while Jogo is doing the exact same thing. And no words are being spoken as Sukuna prepares to shoot some fire from his end. His is shaped like an arrow, while Jogo's prepared to shoot some fire from his end. His is shaped like a fireball. And then it shows, I guess we go back in time, when Jogo was speaking with Hanami and Dagon. Sorry, Hanami, Dagon. Mahito is still alive. And then Dagon doesn't say anything because Hanami said that. Death is something humans fear and detest. However, humans linger beyond it as well. Oh, wait. This is Hanami saying this. Death is something humans fear and detest. However, humans linger. Oh, wait. Let me go ahead and say this real quick. If you guys want to see where I'm reading, I'll read from the official site on Viz, or, the website of your choice, but as I always say, support the official release. I can't remember if I just said that at the beginning or not. Please forgive me if I just repeated that, but I had it playing in my head, but I don't know if I actually vocally said that during today's stream. My apologies. Death is a mirror for humans. Mahito is that mirror. Mahito will continue to grow stronger. That's why you propped him up as the leader. When we're reborn, we won't be the same as before. Even so, I'll be participating the day we meet again. We're the true humans. And then Sukuna's in the background listening to all this. Because here's the thing, Jogo is supposed to be in like this dreamscape where he's only talking to Mahito and Dagon. Like this sort of void where he's only talking to where he's talking to where he's talking to Hanami and Dagon. But then Sukuna's there's all of a sudden. So, you wanted to become human? Yeah, I know what you mean. Not becoming a human literally, more like taking their place, right? That said, it makes it all the more foolish. Humans flocking together. Curses flocking together. Comparing themselves to those around them leads to weakness and stunts their growth. You should have burnt everything you desired to cinder, to reach the heights of Satoru Gojo and not worry about your future or identity. But you lacked the hunger to take hold of your desires. And then Jogo's on the side just saying, You're probably right. But this was actually fun while it lasted. And then Sukuna continues. Oh, no. No, but Jogo says, You're probably right. And then Sukuna says, But this was actually fun while it lasted. Humans, jujutsu sorcerers, cursed spirits. You're not bad compared to those I fought over the last 1,000 years. Stand proud. You're strong. Wow, Sukuna is actually acknowledging the strength of Jogo. And then Jogo stares at Sukuna, and then he actually starts to tear up. What is this? Don't ask me. I don't know what that is either. As he says this to Jogo burning to cinders. Wow. What we were seeing was just Jogo, life flashing before his eyes. He had already died. Sukuna had already killed him. And he was just speaking to Jogo in the afterlife. Oh, man. Don't ask me. I don't know what that is either. And then Sukuna, and then Jogo just turns into ashes right there on the spot. And then someone comes up behind Sukuna and says, Master Sukuna, I've come to escort you. Who are you? And the girl doesn't say anything. And then Sukuna's eyes light up as he goes, Uraume? It's nice to see you again. 11. Oh, so this person knows Sukuna. Interesting. But then it cuts to 11:07 p.m. Darn it, stop messing around, you stupid jujutsu sorcerer! Wake up! And it's the ponytail guy up against Fushiguro. And that is the end of chapter 116. Onwards to chapter 117, the Shibuya Incident, part 35. And then it cuts to Fushiguro when he was apparently facing off against the ponytail guy. The 10 Shadows technique begins when a sorcerer receives 2 divine dogs. In order to use other Shikigami, the sorcerer and their divine dogs must exorcise them together. Then the sorcerer gains more Shikigami, which they can utilize to exercise and amass even more Shikigami, up to 10. And then ponytail guy just goes, Are you finished yet? 11:05, 7 minutes, 2 minutes before Fushiguro got bodied a little bit from the ponytail guy. 11:05 p.m., Dogenzaka in front of Shibuya 109. That girl from before was pretty strong too, and all of you are still so young. Even though he's on his last legs, he isn't giving me an opening to get close. But with all that bleeding, I probably won't even need to... See? And then Megumi falls to the ground. And then Megumi falls to the ground with the ponytail guy going, Yeesh! The thing is, you can exercise a Shikigami with multiple people, but doing so nullifies the technique's effect after the exorcism is done. For the sorcerer, it's a pointless exorcism, but even a pointless exorcism has its uses. And then it cuts back to Megumi's time with Gojo. Do you know why the Gojo and... Sorry, it's just that I still haven't soundproofed my room yet, and there's a lot of background noise going on right now. So, my apologies if I stop. But it cuts to Gojo saying, Do you know why the Gojo and Zenin families are on bad terms? They're on bad terms? The worst. I think it was during the Edo period, or maybe Keicho. I forget, but the heads of their respective households killed each other in a fight before the aristocracy. Back then, who were the heads? For the Gojo family, a limitless curse technique user with the 6 eyes like me, and for the Zenin family, a 10 shadows technique user like you. You get what I'm trying to say, right? And then it cuts back to Megumi as he goes, That doesn't mean I can become stronger than you. I bet the head of the household used it this way too. And then ponytail guy just goes, Blah, 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 you done? And then all of a sudden, the entire area they're in just starts to shake uncontrollably. An earthquake? Wow, so who's the show-off? And then Megumi goes, Let me continue. You can't use a Shikigami unless you exercise it. But you can summon them anytime you want, in order to exorcise them. What is this cursed energy? and then it starts emanating off of Fushiguro. Not a single user of the 10 Shadows technique has ever been able to exercise this one. And then it cuts back to when he was describing this to Ponytail Guy, and Ponytail Guy goes, It can't be. Stop! With this treasure, I summon 8-handled sword, Divergent Sila, Divine General Mahoraga. And it's a giant Shikigami that's surrounded by wolves. And he has like this big wheel that's floating above him, and he towers over Fushiguro. And then the wolves are howling. All right, I'm back. Kenzo's just acting up out there. He's being a very rebellious boy right now. So he's trying to be rebellious, even though he's like 1 year old. He's being very rebellious. So we're just trying to... get him to obey a lot better. My apologies. 8-handled sword, Divergent Sila, Divine General Mahoraga. And it's this big Shikigami man with, I don't know, what is that, wings on his head? With a wheel behind him, and these divine dogs are surrounding him, and they're howling, and then there's frogs all around as well. Darn, he got me. A Shikigami so immensely strong that it can't be controlled. He started an exorcism ritual and forced me to take part. Now I have to fight together with that sorcerer to defeat this monster. But that kid probably... And then Megumi says, I'll see you later. Sorry, Itadori. Hey, you piece of crap. I'll be the first to pass on. Good luck. And as he says this, the Shikigami behind him sends him flying into a nearby wall. And that explains why Megumi was in a crater when we saw the Ponytail Guy screaming for him to wake up. He let this thing hit him so he could be unconscious, so then the Shikigami can focus on Ponytail Guy. But he got hit pretty hard. Megumi was hit hard enough for there to be like a blood splatter from the crater he left. And Ponytail Guy is looking, and he goes, Wait. Like Punisher. Wait. Darn it, stop messing around! You stupid Jujutsu sorcerer, wake up! And then it cuts to Sukuna as he's standing there with Uraume going, Master Sukuna? I have urgent business to deal with. I see. It won't be much longer until I'm completely free. Don't neglect your preparations. See you later, Uraume. And then she just says, Understood, and bows. As Sukuna just disappears from sight, as Uraume goes, I shall be waiting for you. And then it cuts to the Ponytail Guy just barely... he's about to be killed by this Shikigami, but then Sukuna shows up and grabs the ponytail guy. And he's surprised to see Fushiguro, kind of down and out. And thinking, a state of suspended death. I see. I knew it was a good idea to save this piece of trash. He was most likely dragged into the exorcism ritual. If this trash is killed, that's the end of the ritual. Megumi Fushiguro will die as well. And then it shows Megumi. It shows him putting his hand up to Megumi. I don't know if he's healing him or what, but he says, "Don't die. There's something I need you to do." And then Ponytail Guy just goes, quiet. Just stay there. In order to keep Fushiguro alive, I need to defeat the Shikigami even though I'm an outsider. The exorcism ritual will be void. And then it shows Sukuna facing down against this model. What is his name? What is his name? I just saw it. Mahoraga. He's preparing to face off against Mahoraga as he goes, "Let's start with a little taste, shall we?" And that's the end of chapter 117, onwards to 118, the Shibuya Incident Part 36. And it shows Mahoraga preparing to attack Sukuna, and Sukuna just casually blocks the blow as it hits him in the arm, but it doesn't do anything. It causes Sukuna to sink into the ground from the sheer force, but it doesn't do anything to Sukuna himself. And the explosion of the blast causes Ponytail Guy's face to recoil from the blast. And apparently Sukuna is using cursed energy to keep the blade from actually touching him. Then he flips over and then rapidly punches the Shikigami in the face. And then Sukuna holds his hand out and goes, "Dismantle." And then there's cuts appear all over the Shikigami that are so strong that they not only pierce through the Shikigami, but also pierce through the adjacent building behind him. And then the spirit falls to the ground to his knees with Sukuna going, "That's a specialized blade for cursed spirits. The Sword of Extermination. It's enveloped in positive energy that is similar to reverse cursed energy. If I was a cursed spirit, I'd be a gunner." So he's... Wait, I thought all this time Sukuna was a cursed spirit. He's not. All this time I thought he was like a cursed spirit. But he's not. And then the wheel on the back of Mahoraga starts spinning, and then it starts spinning and making sounds, and then it starts to heal his body. Its wounds have healed. It did something. What's next? And then Sukuna puts his fingers up in a slicing motion, causing it to almost hit the Shikigami and slice up the entire building behind him instead. And apparently he deflected the attack of Sukuna as Sukuna goes, "It deflected the attack. You can see it. You can see my curse technique." And then the Mahoraga tries to hit Sukuna, and it hits Sukuna and sends him flying through several large buildings. And then Mahoraga is smiling to itself. And it still shows Sukuna being flung through multiple buildings, and then he stops, and then Mahoraga comes in to try and stab him, but Sukuna dodges. And then it just shows him dodging constantly. And then Sukuna lands directly on the shoulders, like directly on the arm of Mahoraga, the one that has like the Sword of Extermination on him. And then he puts his hand directly on Mahoraga's face, saying, "My turn." Then there's a massive explosion that slices through the building as Sukuna slices Mahoraga directly point blank. And then he brings an axe kick directly down on Mahoraga, sending him plummeting to the streets below. If I'm understanding this correctly, it'll stand up. And then Sukuna lands on the street with Maharaga, and then the wheels on the near the back of Maharaga start spinning, and then Maharaga gets back up with his wounds completely healed again. Just as I thought. It's similar to Yamata no Orochi. That second attack. Unlike the first attack, which was imbued with positive energy, the second was imbued with cursed energy. As for my attack, it was able to recognize dismantle. Both occurred after that wheel on its back turned. Furu's incantation of the 10 sacred treasures, and that wheel represented a complete cycle and harmony. I bet the Shikigami's power is the ability to adapt to any and all phenomena, kind of like a late throw in rock, paper, scissors. Wow, so he's basically like Doomsday from DC. He gets stronger from the last thing that injured him. If it was me from that time, it may have been able to beat me. You've piqued my interest, Megumi Fushiguro. Domain expansion. Malevolent Shrine. He's bringing out... He's bringing out the domain. Let's go. That's the end of chapter 118. Onwards to chapter 119. Sukuna has 2 types of slashing attacks. The main attack is Dismantle, and the secondary attack, Cleave, can be adjusted depending on the target's toughness and cursed energy level to cut them down in one fell swoop. What I would do to play a Jujutsu Kaisen action game where I get to play as Sukuna and his abilities either as an action RPG or a Musou game. Ooh, Jujutsu would actually do really well as a Musou game due to the widespread curse techniques, especially Satoru Gojo. Ooh, I'm excited just reading this series because so many ideas are forming. The main attack is Dismantle, and the secondary attack, Cleave, can be adjusted depending on the target's toughness and cursed energy level to cut them down in one fell swoop. Malevolent Shrine differs from other types of domain expansion in that it doesn't create a separate space using a barrier. The ability to realize one's innate domain without using a barrier is akin to an artist painting a masterpiece not on canvas, but in the air. A truly divine technique. Oh. Furthermore, here's the little security tab in this book. Let me get this security tab out before I read, but also remain extremely careful that it does not damage the pages. Because if you take these sticky security tabs off the pages too quickly, it'll take the page with them. Gotcha. There we go. Furthermore, by allowing an escape route, a binding vow is formed, which vastly increases the guaranteed hit's effective area to a maximum radius of nearly 200 meters. Taking Megumi Fushiguro into account, Sukuna narrowed the effect's range to a 140-meter radius above the surface. Wow. And now, in this domain, there's a sound effect of multiple clashes going on. And then someone is saying... we got some civilians going... how's your phone?
Still no reception. Me either. Don't use yours too much, Keiko. It'd be bad if both of our phones ran out of power. True. But I don't think we need to worry anymore.
Huh?
That megaphone guy is here.
All right, that guy. And before this woman can even say anything, wow, whoa, his domain, yo, Sukuna's domain expansion, anything, wow. Everything that is within his domain right now is just disintegrating.
Oh, that's right. That's good.
And before she can say that, she just starts she just starts disintegrating on the spot. For anything with cursed energy within range, cleave. For inanimate objects, dismantle. Until Malevolent Shrine is gone, it will relentlessly attack all targets within the effective range of its guaranteed hit. Wow! Wow! Within his domain! Wow! That is scary. With anything that's in his domain, for inanimate objects, they get dismantled. For anything that's within the curse level, they get cleaved. So regular inanimate objects just get disintegrated. And then people that have like a certain curse level, they just get cleaved. And it just shows these people being broken down to the molecular level because they fall inside of this domain. This is a scary power. And as Sukuna is doing this, Mahoraga is caught within this domain expansion's power, and he is just absolutely cut relentlessly by this domain's power. And then it just shows a massive explosion from the epicenter of where Sukuna and Mahoraga are. And he destroyed, he pretty much hit not only Mahoraga, but everything within the 140-meter radius he did. So that includes buildings as well. I'm getting Shigaraki waking up after his Operation vibes in My Hero Academia, where he basically just destroyed a ginormous portion of the area he was in when he woke up. I'm getting those same vibes from this, but it's Sukuna, so his power is just like crazy. The only way to defeat Mahoraga is to slaughter it with a new attack before it can adapt. Cleave fits the criteria. However, if it hasn't adapted only to dismantle, but to slashing attacks in general, then... And then it shows Mahoraga has survived. He's regenerated. And he's just laying there trying to get back up. Mahoraga's regeneration will soon be complete. And then apparently, Sukuna goes, open. And as he says this, he shoots out fire from his hand, and it hits Mahoraga directly in the face, and the whole area just explodes in a massive explosion. And then Ponytail Guy is just watching, and in a split second, Sukuna throws the wheel that was once on... Wow, he just... Yo! He did not adapt quick enough in order to survive the fire attack he stole from Jogo. But Ponytail Guy is just standing there watching from the outer edges of the epicenter of Malevolent Shrine's domain expansion effect. And then Sukuna walks up and throws the wheel that was on his back, was on Mahoraga's back, and it starts glooping and it starts breaking apart. And then Sukuna says, "What are you looking at? Be gone." And then Ponytail Guy is just looking and he's all like, I'll be on my way. I'm out of here. Curse user Haruta Shigemo's curse technique stores miracles. Oh, so that's his name. That's his name. Curse user Haruta Shigemo. Haruta Shigemo. Curse user Haruta Shigemo's curse technique stores miracles. I survived again. My luck never runs out. Little everyday miracles are erased from Shigemo's memory and stored. These stored miracles are then released when Shigemo's life is in danger. The markings under Shigemo's eyes indicate how many miracles he has stored, but even he is not aware of this fact. Once again, I live to see another day. And as he says this, his whole... He picked the wrong direction to run in. as he says this, his body gets cleaved from straight down. Not like this, but this. Through his whole body. So he's just sliced down the middle, but from the side. He gets sliced down the middle, and as he's running, his body is moving in a motion for him to run, but he kind of gets sliced. He kind of gets sliced from like top to ooh, so many visceral deaths in this series. He gets sliced from top to bottom as he just goes, huh? And we get narration. His luck had run out in his fight against Kento Nanami. Wow! When Kento Nanami was bodying Haruta this whole time, he made Haruta use up all of his luck. So when he ran into the, I don't know if Malevolent Shrine was still active, but when he ran in the direction of where Sukuna erected his Malevolent Shrine, he got affected by the cleave effect of the domain, where whichever has a certain curse level, it gets cleaved. He got cleaved as soon as he ran in there, killing him instantly. Ponytail guy is gone. Wow. Good lord, I love this series. And he just goes, ugh, as he just falls over and dies. And then Sukuna's thinking, not much longer now. Then it cuts to Yaga and Shoko as they're looking on as they see Fushiguro next to a wall. And then there's like a dust cloud that someone just dropped him there. Fushiguro! I thought I saw Itadori for a second. Or was it Sukuna? And then it cuts to Yuji? It cuts to Yuji's face. And that's the end of chapter 119. Onwards to 120, the Shibuya Incident, part 38. And then it cuts to Sukuna appearing back in the city, still in control of Yuji's body. So Sukuna dropped off Fushiguro in front of Yaga and Shoko, and then just casually left. Sukuna is scary, I'm sorry. And Sukuna says, it's 11:14 p.m. Dogenzaka in front of Shibuya 109. Hey, brat, take a good look, he says as his markings start to disappear. And then he has Yuji standing in front of the giant area that Malevolent Shrine pretty much destroyed. So you know how in Man of Steel, when it's Clark versus General Zod, and there's just it's just a destroyed wasteland before they start their fight? That's exactly what lays in front of Yuji, including the cleaved body of Haruta. And then as Yuji wakes up, all the memories that Sukuna had when he was active come pouring into Yuji. Seeing Sukuna appear right next to Panda, him killing Mimiko and Nanako, him using his domain expansion to pretty much not only kill all the innocents that were within this domain's range, but also, weaken Mahoraga and then kill Haruta as well. So Yuji, feeling his head, just kind of throws up from the gore that just happened while Sukuna was in control, and he's huffing and puffing. And then it's just Yuji going back in time. I'm wondering why the heck I have to be executed. And then it cuts to Yuji as he starts tearing up and crying as he goes, just die already. I already know how I'm gonna go out. Help people. When it's your time to go, make sure you're surrounded by others. People. Just me. Die now! And Yuji is just... he's kind of losing his mind because of all the things that Sukuna just did. Because of you, I need to move. I need to fight. With how things have gone, I'm nothing but a murderer. And then Yuji, in this one panel, just shows him with his eyes just looking kind of blank a little bit. Fernando, what's going on? We are on chapter 120 of the 14th volume of Jujutsu. And my goodness, is it good. And it just shows someone walking through the hallway, and it's Nanami. Nanami is still up. There's the thing, Jogo just blasted Nanami not too long ago with massive amounts of flames and fire, and it shows Nanami walking through the subway with his cursed weapon, and his body still burned to the point where half of his face is gone, and you see his skull. This kind of reminds me of how Gus went out. This kind of reminds me of how Gus went out in Breaking Bad. He's just walking around. He's just walking around with half of his face missing and half of his body burned. And as he's walking, we see Mahito hiding inside of a photo booth. And Mahito is just watching, silently watching as Nanami walks past, and then Nanami walks down some stairs and comes face to face with a bunch of transfigured humans. Fernando, you say Minion's voice. Are you asking me to do a Minion's voice? Because this isn't the stream for me to do that. You gotta wait until I do a voiceover stream. And Nanami is just standing there, looking directly at these transfigured humans as he goes, Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia Kuantan would be nice. Build a house on a secluded beach. Finally get around to the countless books I've bought but never read. Go through them page by page, kinda like taking back the time I've lost. No, right now you're heading over to save Fushiguro. But what about Maki and Naobito? What happened to them? Tired. So tired. Yeah, I'm just tired. I've done enough, haven't I? And then as he says this, he says, like, I've done enough, haven't I? But then Nanami just proceeds to just cut down as many transfigured humans as he can. Stritzy! And I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. We got someone else who's watched my Demon Slayer read through. Nice to see you. Started with my Demon Slayer reading, and this is my first live stream. Welcome. Hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. I'm currently going through chapter 120 of Jujutsu on the 14th volume, and it's been exceedingly good right now. But Nanami, after saying, like, I've done enough, right? And afterwards, it shows him cutting down as many transfigured humans as he can. He's just cutting them down. Then, all of a sudden, he stopped as someone puts their hand on his chest. And that person is Mahito. And then Nanami, after cutting down a ton of transfigured humans, goes, I didn't know you were here.
Yep, the whole time. Wanna chat? We've got history after all.
And then it cuts to Nanami not objecting and thinking, Haibara, what was I trying to do anyway? I ran. Even though I ran away, I came back with the vague reason of finding the work worthwhile. And then it shows... Oh, you're gonna dip out? Oh, okay, don't. Okay, catch up. By all means, Stritzy, catch up. Love this, gonna dip out because you're on episode 13 and don't want any spoilers, but love the channel. Thank you, Stritzy. Thank you. But dip out, because I'm way past episode 13 of the anime. So, by all means, leave. Now I'm gonna continue. I ran. Even though I ran away, I came back with the vague reason of finding the work worthwhile. And then someone is pointing directly in front of Nanami. And as they're standing there, Yuji runs up. Yuji runs up and then Mahito sees him. Itadori. Nanami! No, Haibara. That's not right. I can't say that to him. It'll just end up becoming a curse for him. And then Nanami says, Itadori, you've got it from here. And then in an instant, Nanami's upper body just explodes from Mahito. Wow, we lost Nanami! No! Why? Why? You've got it from here. And then we just lose Nanami as his upper body explodes. What the heck are you, Mahito? I can hear you just fine without you yelling, Yuji Itadori. And that's the end of chapter 120. Chapter 121, the Shibuya Incident, part 39. And then it shows Yuji launching and running towards Mahito. And then Mahito flicks like a small transfigured human at Yuji, which then expands and almost hits Yuji in the face with a giant scissor-like nose. And then Yuji barely manages to dodge as Mahito is right behind him. And then he's using another transfigured human with a new technique called Soul Multiplicity. Body Repel! And then it shows him launching a part of a transfigured human at Yuji, causing it to expand and almost chomp down on him with a transfigured mouth at the end. I know these may not be the best descriptions. These are things that you have to see. But I'm not going to show these pages because that's how copyright strikes happen, and I don't want one. Soul Multiplicity, a technique that merges two or more souls. Oh, that's what he did. He combined two transfigured humans into one massive attack. Body Repel. Soul Multiplicity creates a reaction due to the rejection of fusion. By using this effect and increasing the soul's energy, the overwhelming output can be directed at an opponent. And it shows Yuji doing his best to hold back from this attack being pushed back. Then his eyes open wide as it shows Mahito inside the mouth of this same transfigured human as he goes, boo! And then punches Yuji directly in the face, sending him flying backwards a little bit. Had I put my back into it a little more, I could have split your skull. And he actually did try to split the skull of Yuji because he transfigured the top of his hand into an extremely hardened piece, and Yuji now has like a cut across his face because of it. Yo, Psycho! We are on chapter 121 of JUJUTSU, and so many things are happening. It shows the soul multiplicity behind him kind of going in pain. As Yuji goes, how can you? So often and with so many people. How can you play with so many people's lives? Would you prefer that I contemplate my reasons with a remorseful look the next time I kill someone? I'll be sure to do that, Kay. Here's a simple answer since you're such a simple guy. Yuji Itadori. Here's a simple answer since you're such a simple guy, Yuji Itadori. And then it shows him transfiguring his hand to look like Junpei. You guys remember Junpei? And then Junpei's going, help. You are me. As he uses his finger to pierce through the head of, I want to say fake Junpei. And then Yuji goes, what the heck? Yeesh, no need to get so upset every time. 'Tis just a curse spouting nonsense. But you know what? Until you accept that fact, there's no way you'll ever beat me. And then Yuji goes, all that blabbering. You really don't stop talking. I'll make sure those are your dying words. You've got it from here. Nanami wouldn't lose his cool. prove to him that I am a Jujutsu sorcerer. And then Yuji starts gathering cursed energy in his hands. And then Mahito does the same. Idle transfiguration doesn't work on Itadori. Increasing my size by manipulating my soul would just make me a bigger target. That might as well be suicide. I'll stick with manipulating limbs, which shouldn't be a problem to sacrifice just like a moment ago. I need to focus on concentrating my body's form to maintain toughness. Is what Itadori must be thinking. He's planning to predict my movements by reading the flow of cursed energy. I won't change my soul's shape. Maximum strength. Maintain this form and with a pure reinforced hit of cursed energy, I'll stab Itadori's heart. And then both Mahito and Yuji are staring at each other. And then Yuji just disappears from the side of Mahito. By the way, you love that skin you have on Crypto. Yeah, in Destroy All Humans, it definitely looks like he could be Death's twin. It's a mixture of both Death's look from the game of Darksiders and War's look, because he has like the face pauldron on the side, so it could be more like Death using War's gear, and then it's put on Crypto. But yeah, I'm done with Destroy All Humans, so that means I'm looking forward to Destroy All Humans too, because I know it's going to be fun. Back to the story! Both Mahito and Yuji are staring at each other, and then all of a sudden, Yuji just disappears from in front of Mahito. And then narration goes, while Mahito's fist pierces through air, Itadori disappears from his sight. Knee release, an ancient martial art technique that eliminates starting movement. Itadori not only releases his knees, but his hips and shoulders too. Instead of falling down, this move guides him to Mahito's feet. From a lower position, he utilizes momentum to strike with a Taito martial arts Manji kick. And with this Manji kick, he proceeds to hit Mahito directly in the face with extreme force, sending Mahito reeling backwards, which Yuji doesn't waste the momentum of, and then proceeds to kick Mahito directly in the solar plexus, causing him to almost spit up a little bit. And then it shows Mahito trying to use a vine, trying to transfigure his arm into a vine in order to hit Yuji, but Yuji dodges. Not bad. Let's move on to the second round. And that is the end of chapter 121, onwards to chapter 122. We're making good progress, everyone. I might be able to get this done a lot sooner than I did with my One Punch Man. Chapter 122, The Shibuya Incident, Part 40. 11:19 p.m. Shibuya Station, Dogenzaka Ticket Gate. I was so close to being able to do that first try without messing up the words. I was so close. And then it shows Yuji and Mahito clashing with one another in the subway station as Mahito continues to try and transform his arm and shoot transfigured humans at Yuji, which then try to impede Yuji and try to hit him as well. He's using delayed transfiguration to fling humans. And then it shows Mahito trying to hit Yuji with his foot and transfiguring it to extend outwards. He's basically functioning like Mr. Fantastic in a way, but it's his hold he's able to stretch. Then it shows Yuji grabbing on to Mahito's arm, Mahito's leg. And as he tries to grab it, Mahito slices off his own leg in order to get away from Yuji, which then turns into an arm so it can crawl away from Yuji. If I take a risk and mess up the timing, I could end up dead. I'll stick to using transfigured humans for now. Oh, that was scary, says Mahito as he's trying to toy with Yuji, and Yuji is staring at him. Delayed transfiguration, body dismemberment and merging. He has more moves now. Reducing risk isn't the only reason I'm using transfigured humans. And then Mahito starts to dash to Yuji's right, in front of him. And as Yuji chases after him, he comes across two people. A student? Hey, come this way, it's dangerous over there with all those monsters. Where's Mahito? Upstairs! And as he proceeds to try and go past the two guys, he's looking at one guy saying, sorry, but there's nowhere safe in Shibuya. Try to stay somewhere. And before Yuji can even react, something comes out of the mouth of one of the people that's standing next to him and punches Yuji in the face. Darn it, and then it shows that Mahito transfigured himself to be inside the body of this one guy and stretched him out in order to come out of his body, and then it looks like he's about to transfigure the other guy as the guy goes, huh? And then Mahito goes, you know, you really need to work on that imagination of yours. And then he transfigures the other guy into being a sword. He touches the guy and then transfigures his face to extend into a sword that he could use. Stop it. Transfigured humans are effective for... Oh, wait. Stop it, says Yuji. Are you stupid? You gotta stop me. Transfigured humans are effective for breaking down Itadori's mental resolve. Plus, we're gonna add one more card to the hand. And then it cuts to hours earlier at 9:30 in Shibuya Station on the 4th floor basement, as apparently someone says, Dagon, go ahead and eat whatever's in the way. No, wait, this is Mahito going, Dagon, go ahead and eat whatever's in the way. And it shows Dagon filling the entire area with water that a lot of civilians were in, and then proceeding to swallow all of these people. We know where the bones came from now. Wow, we know where those bones came from. Those bones came from the civilians that Dagon basically just swallowed up and ate, because all these people are caught up in a massive pool of water, and they all start to get dragged into Dagon's mouth. And the whole area is clear. And then Mahito goes, I've plenty in stock now. Do what you want with the rest of the humans, but leave the ones at the basement 5th floor. Or is that Dagon saying that? I've plenty in stock now. Do what you want with the rest of the humans, but leave the ones at the basement 5th floor. Okay, on with the plan to kill Itadori. And then Jogo goes, don't. And then Mahito goes, Jogo, stop me if you can. And then it shows Mahito splitting himself up in between two people. He created a clone of himself. I'll head down. You go wander around above ground. But be sure to come back when I call for you. You don't need to say anything. Oh, right. He split in two. And this is back in time. And then behind, Mahito drops a transfigured human that then extends into a massive wall in order to keep Jogo from chasing after him. He got away. Mahito! Then we cut back to the present now. Well, we cut back to 11:16 p.m. Dongenzaka Koji. Did you see that? Wasn't that crazy? I was just there. And then it cuts to Nobara as she's talking to Mahito. This is back in time. Patchface, it's you, right? A special grade cursed spirit who's been causing trouble for our class clown? Aw, shucks, am I famous now? Yeah, famous for being a coward and running away. And then Nobara's just kind of clowning him. And then Mahito's face just kind of turns into like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. I like you already. Killing you should be worthwhile. I don't have much to show for today. I think his cursed technique has something to do with the soul. They told me not to let him touch me with his hands. So you'll have to at least let me squash a fleeing bug like you. Remember the feeling from back then. Feel the core of cursed energy. As she remembers fighting off against Eso back then. And then she shoots nails at Mahito, and one manages to go through his hair in a split second, and he dodges away. And then Mahito goes, "Oh, you just finished it, by the way. You meant volume 13, not episode. Stritzy, you scared me. Oh, you scared me. I thought I was so far beyond you. You scared me." Volume 13. Oh my goodness, volume 13. Okay. But still, I don't know how far you are with the chapters. So I don't want you to be spoiled on what's going on right now, because we're on chapter 122 right now, as Nobara is facing off against Mahito. And she shot some nails at him, going, "You missed." And then it turns out that she didn't miss, as she caused an awning to kind of fall towards where Mahito is. And then she kicks with both of her feet into this awning in order to keep Mahito on guard, and she left 2 nails into this awning. And then as she jumps back, she snaps her fingers and goes, "Hairpin." And then an explosion happens. And then Mahito laughs and goes, "Not bad, but that won't work on me. Judging by the way she talks, I'd say she's a friend of his. I'll bring her dead body to Yuji Itadori and destroy his soul." And that's the end of chapter 122. Onwards to chapter 123, the Shibuya Incident, part 41. Oh, that explains what happened when Sukuna previously got kicked outside by Mahoraga. When he got kicked outside of the building, apparently here, the extra info on this page says that Sukuna actually flew all the way outside the curtain in this scene. Since there was no particular effect on either Sukuna or Mahoraga, and visually it had no particular bearing on the fight, he left it out. Oh, so he actually got knocked outside. Sukuna actually got knocked outside of the entire curtain because of Mahoraga. I mean, it still didn't change the fact that Mahoraga got eviscerated by him, though. All good. You don't think there's ever been an anime that wasn't spoiled in some way for you? Yeah, that's kind of happened to me, too. It's only a select few where I go out of my way to try to avoid seeing what happened. But chapter 123, the Shibuya Incident, part 41. And then it cuts to Nita saying, "Don't do it, Kujisaki. Nanami said so." And this is happening at 11:14 p.m. at Shoto Bunkamura Street outside of the curtain. "Nanami said so. And we didn't tell you Shoko was here because..." And then Nobara says, "Because he didn't want me doing something reckless, right? The paramedic team was probably late for the same reason. Even so, I can't just leave while they're still fighting." And then there's a beautiful double spread panel with the title here. And then it cuts to multiple people getting skewered through the chest as Yuji continues his fight against Mahito. Innocent people. With one dude going, "What? Huh? Maybe I should have had Dagon leave a few more people. Meh, this should be enough." And he grabs these people and shish kebabs them, and then proceeds to sling them into Itadori. Darn it! And then he falls to the ground as these people fall to the ground around him. As Yuji goes, "Are you okay?" Yeah. As it shows this person's body's transfiguring before his very eyes. And as he says this, wow, Mahito rigged their bodies to explode. He said, Yuji goes, "Are you okay?" And the guy says, "Yeah," before his body expands and then explodes directly in Yuji's face, causing some blood to actually fly in Yuji's eye. And he goes, "Crap, and it shows Mahito running up behind him, preparing to hit Yuji with a mace-like fist. And then Yuji barely manages to get his eyes open as it cuts back to Nobara facing off against the Mahito clone, as Nobara continues to use her nails against him. "She's avoiding my hands. The 7-3 hairstyle sorcerer must have warned her. How boring. I'm just a double, though."
I can change my form like the original, but I can't manipulate transfigured humans or other souls. But thanks for wearing yourself down for me.
And it shows the Mahito clone try to hit Nobara in the face, and he just barely grazes her face.
I'm not fighting Itadori. I can manipulate my form as much as I want without incurring risks.
And as it shows his fists directly in front of Nobara, it turns into like a pincushion. It just turns into like a sea urchin type shape and tries to skewer Nobara, but she kind of dodges away. And then Mahito tries to sling in the direction of Nobara, and Nobara prepares to shoot some more nails, and then it shows Mahito turning his other arm into a claw and then hitting Nobara in the shoulder.
I thought I told ya. That won't work on me. Or did you forget already?
And then Nobara says,
I know that, but sometimes you just gotta try.
And then Mahito's in the background just going, so lame. And then it shows Mahito dodging more nails just casually. And then it shows that Nobara's nowhere in sight. And then he looks up and goes,
up there. Here you go.
And then she drops some nails directly in front of Mahito and goes,
hairpin.
And they all explode in front. And then it shows Nobara jumping up from the platform from the awning she was on, right down to where Mahito is.
Now she's coming down? What's her deal? Here's some more for ya,
goes Nobara.
Hairpin!
And then it shows that Mahito has been hit multiple times by the nails that were actually on the ground.
The first one rattled the nails to make them point upwards. Upright.
And it shows Nobara landing directly on top of the Mahito clone.
But does that matter?
And then Nobara says,
I've been thinking about it. Ever since I was told about your curse technique, I've thought this would be effective against you.
And then the Mahito clone looks on in surprise. And then he realizes,
before, she was bluffing to make it seem like she didn't have a plan.
And then she embeds a nail in the skull of the Mahito clone. As Nobara goes,
resonance!
And then the Mahito that's fighting in front of Yuji feels the effects of the resonance, not just through the clone, but through himself, as nail spikes, shoot up through his chest and causes him to cough up blood. And then Mahito looks on in utter confusion.
What?
Kujisaki? Goes Yuji. Kujisaki used resonance to strike Mahito's soul via his body. As a result, resonance would relay from the double to the original soul. Furthermore, the damage dealt to the original soul would then rebound back to the double. And then it shows the double. Ooh, yo, these Jujutsu sorcerers, man, they are so resourceful. And they're also crazy powerful when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Furthermore, the damage dealt to the original soul would then rebound back to the double.
No way. This can't be real.
As it shows the clone spewing out a lot of blood right now.
Yuji Itadori isn't my only natural enemy.
And then Nobara goes,
that's weird. I just felt my cursed energy detonate somewhere else nearby.
And then she goes, and then I guess Mahito goes,
How do I put this? Your cursed energy isn't really all that strong. And back then, you could have just grabbed me.
Yeah, oh wait, this is Nobara saying this.
How do I put this? Your cursed energy isn't really all that strong. And back then, you could have just grabbed me. You're like a double or something, so you can't use your cursed technique, am I right?
And then the Mahito clone pulls a nail out of his head and goes,
correct.
And that's the end of chapter 123. Onwards to the last chapter of today, 124, the Shibuya Incident, Part 42. And then it shows Nobara smiling, it shows Yuji staring, going, Kujisaki? And then it shows Mahito with the resonant nails going through his chest, as it cuts to the clone again with another nail in his forehead. And then it cuts to the real Mahito as a massive fist hits him point blank as Yuji just bodies him, with Mahito thinking, the curse technique's effect is still lingering. I can't move so well. And then it cuts to Yuji going, Kujisaki, thank you, as it shows Yuji hitting Mahito with, like, you know how Yamamoto in Bleach, when he was facing off against Wonder Weiss, and he used Soul Kuts, which was basically a double-fisted palm fist thrust into the body of Wonder Weiss. Yuji basically does the same thing. And he does it with enough force to not only crater the area underneath himself and Mahito, but also crack the pillar that he shoves Mahito into. Kujisaki, thank you. I couldn't save anyone. I wasted everyone's efforts, but thank you for showing me that I'm not alone. And it just shows him barraging Mahito with countless amounts of punches. That's why I'm gonna kill you here and now. And it just shows Yuji just not letting up and just barraging Mahito with countless punches. Then it cuts to Nobara and the Mahito clone as the nail falls out with the Mahito clone going, correct. Back when Nobara confirmed that she was fighting a clone that couldn't use the transfiguration curse technique that the original could use.
Now that Resonance is working, the attack should slow down a bit. This is where the battle really begins.
And then, all of a sudden, Mahito twitches and he goes, actually, I'm gonna run away.
What? Get back here! I could just ignore him and head straight to basement 5th floor, but I have a feeling letting him run loose would just come back to bite us later.
And then she's chasing after him and Mahito jumps over a railing to get back into the subway.
Perfect. I'll exercise him on my way to the basement 5th floor.
And then as it shows Yuji trying to punch Mahito, Mahito splits his body up into smaller pieces. He split up. Which one contains the part of the soul I need to finish off? He splits up into multiple pieces that all start running in separate directions. Kind of reminds me of Muzan Kibutsuji's ability to split his body apart and then reform it later in order to avoid, breathing techniques from the Hashira. Yuji is trying to find the one soul. He's trying to find the one part of Mahito's soul that's trying to run away, and Yuji notices it off to the side. And then Yuji proceeds to kick one he thinks is Mahito, but then it shows the clone coming back as all the other pieces start to conjoin together and join back to form Mahito's body. Gotcha! Darn it, he tricked me with cursed energy. And then it shows Nobara running towards where the clone was running, and then it shows the original running towards one another. Two Mahitos? Goes Yuji. Was that double somewhere else before? Is he trying to fuse back together to heal? Don't know if you heard the news today. WZ reportedly considering scrapping the Flash movie. Thank God. Thank you. That's good news. That's actually good news. Because the Lord knows no one wants to watch the Flash movie because of that psychotic individual Ezra Miller. So hopefully they are actually scrapping the movie completely. Was that double somewhere else before? Is he trying to fuse back together to heal? And it shows the Mahitos running towards one another and they just completely pass each other. They went past each other? Why? And then it shows Nobara coming up with her saying, Itadori? Kujisaki, run! The real body acted as a blind spot so that Kujisaki would not notice the switch. Furthermore, due to her battle against the double, she let her guard down against Mahito's hands. And then it shows apparently Mahito, the real Mahito, hitting Nobara in the face. Haha, a direct hit. And then it shows Yuji. Punching Mahito directly into the wall and obliterating his face. You're in my way! Kujisaki! And then it cuts to the real, he punched the Mahito clone off to the side.
Now then,
goes the real Mahito.
I couldn't kill the 7-3 hairstyle sorcerer with one touch, but how about you?
And then it cuts to Nobara touching her face. And then it cuts back to 2009.
Gah! Die!
Nobara Kujisaki, 6 years old.
Ah!
And then it cuts to an older gentleman going, maybe next time, Nobara. You have to make sure to go for the kill when the opponent is recovering.
Back then, I thought everyone in the village was weird, and that I was the only sane one there. Ah, a smash ball! You can do it.
To be continued. And that's the end of Volume 14. Oh boy. I'm not going to say anything concerning this story. I just got to wait until next Thursday to see where Volume 15 is going to lead me. I'm almost caught up with the physical volumes of Jujutsu, and then I'm thinking of having a massive blowout where I go through every chapter that has not been physically published just to fully catch up. It might be a long stream, but I want to do a stream once I fully catch up. Once I finish with Volume 16, I want to fully catch up and read through all the chapters until I fully catch up. So it'll probably be a long stream when I do that. The same deal for One Punch Man, because I want to do that as well. But boy, so many things happened in this volume. I don't want to try and assume to know where the story is going to go from here, but I just want to let the chapters and volume itself tell me that story. So I'm looking forward to next Thursday, where we continue with Volume 15 of Jujutsu Kaisen. This was a absolutely fantastic read. I hope everyone here enjoyed themselves. I mean, if you enjoyed yourselves, then I did my job today. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Man, this story is getting really good. I still have yet to catch up to where everyone else is, but this story is getting really good. I cannot wait to read the next volume next week.